And the things we're saying are not easy to do, though. Like right now we're on the podcast saying as though making a hit is an easy thing to do. It's not. But we're just kind of telling you.
Quarterbacks. Wait, what's because no one knows what that is.
That's correct. That's correct.
Assisters. What is it?
Or backseat drivers.
Yeah, backseat drivers.
Oh, we're being backbench drivers, man.
Daniel podcast.
Daniel.
Slim waist, big bumper. I'm a dem na wapenda na yo order. Nim rich, big sponsor. Maneno nyingi hazipendi na mlola. Slim waist, big bumper. I'm a dem na wapenda na yo order. Nim rich, big sponsor. Maneno nyingi hazipendi na mlola. Ya basi wewe kidogo, kionjo, kidogo, kionjo, kidogo, kionjo. Zile flani tamu tamu raya basi wewe kidogo, kionjo, kidogo, kionjo, kidogo, kionjo.
Okay, sizi kuwa msewa kukuimbia zeze. Comfort yourself before niongeleshe. Niliparafadha nikiwa compassion.
What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 142 of the 30% podcast. I go by Afamefuna. My co-host goes by Sam, Are, Jedediah, and Sam. Thank goodness we're still around. I thought the world was gonna end on Saturday, but here we are, man. Delivering another podcast for you guys.
What happened on Saturday?
Certain people. You didn't see Prophet Oduor-Noah's his church.
Oh man!
No, listen.
You guys need to stop with the prophecies.
Literally. No, but he literally the church said that the world was ending on August 2nd. So I was ready, man. I was like, Saturday, it's up. It's up, Yeah. We only got to 141 episodes of the podcast, but thankfully nobody knows the day or the hour. So
no one knows the day or the hour except Prophet Oduor and his boys and girls.
We're back, man. We're back.
So now what happens? What happens to a church? What happens to people when you prophesy that the world is going to end and then the next day you wake up? Like, what do you do?
Nothing.
What's protocol in that situation?
The congregation will still go and still.
All right, there's a bit of sauce in. Let's not get into that because there's a bit of sauce in. We're going to get into a whole religion talk. I know you're ready for that. All right,
Sam, we are thankfully still here to deliver an amazing podcast for you guys. I hope you guys have been good. I hope your weeks have been blessed. Till the next prophecy. Sam, how are you doing, man?
I'm cool. I'm all right. I'm cold. The temperature for some reason, the day has been cool. Sun was out. It was great. And then all of a sudden the temperature has dropped, which is absolutely terrible. It's cold, but I will not complain as I complain. But yeah, that's cool. I'm all right. This week feels weird because I think the past month I've been going out every single week, twice maybe for music shows. This past week I didn't go out for nothing. And I feel so bad. Partly because there's things I wanted to go out for, but then I couldn't. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a part of my life is missing.
Wow.
It just feels weird.
Wow, look at the growth, man. Sam has been wearing less and going out more, but now he feels restricted.
Did you say wearing less?
Don't look at me like.
Did you say wearing less and going out more? Well, you could have just said someone's been going out more. What's the wearing less?
It's the Drake line. It's a Drake line.
You don't. All right. Okay, this is good. This is a building moment. This is a building moment in this dynamic that we have going on here. Don't you ever use any Drake lines to refer to me?
Okay.
Because the life Drake lives and the life I live are completely different. There will be nothing that applies to me that will apply to him, apart from music itself.
Wow, really?
Right. And wasn't he talking about was that meant to be?
It's just talking about a human being. It's about a human being.
You see now you're on honestly at some weird time. But no, I've not been wearing less and going out more. I've actually been wearing more and going out more because it's cold.
Yeah, layer up,
But yeah.
layer up, guys. It's cold. It's cold out there.
Please. Lay up. I didn't do anything this week musical in terms of like shows and whatnot. Oh, I missed it. But anyway, next week. And there's some good shows coming out too. Some stuff I really want to attend. There's something coming up with Mass House with Matata and them that they've been promoting, and it looks like it could be some. So I want to go. Something. Who am I? It could be something. So I really like to attend that.
Yeah, it could be some. Yeah, it could be some for real, man.
You have to check. You have to correct yourself because hip hop lingo sneaks into, and we usually hate on hip hop lingo because it's like, nah, you're from Nairobi. There's nothing. Anyway, yeah. So that's been that. It's just been a chill week, honestly. Working. How is the New York's? The Big Apple.
Bro, New York is good, man. The Big Apple is good. Just been working. Yeah, and also watching a lot of media, man. One, I started rewatching. I don't know if you ever watched this show. It was called Batman Beyond. You know the concept, the one where like Bruce Wayne is old. Yeah, Bruce Wayne is old. It's like it's set in the future. Yeah. And then there's a kid who's like the new Batman. It's actually so dope, man. I really respect like the retrofuturism wave, like of, you know, like how people always used to like the Jetsons, like the whole old idea of what the future would look
is
like.
Yeah, flying cars. There's always flying cars in there somewhere.
So yeah,
nothing
always.
like that has happened. We're just working on drones.
Yeah, exactly. Even Batman Beyond is so retro futuristic. I just like that aesthetic so much. So just been watching that, and then also listen, if you are listening to this and you're a fan of Love Island, my God, listen, Meg and Dejon are finally out of the villa. Like, listen, actually, by the time you guys are listening to this, the final has already happened. But who cares? Because every couple that's left is a good couple, and so I'm actually okay with whoever wins. Although I secretly really want Harry and Shakira to win. Listen, the real ones know. The real ones who are listening to this podcast who watch Love Island, they know. They know. Only the real ones, and only the real ones know how much we have suffered watching Meg and Dejon week in, week out talk about, but we're boyfriend and girlfriend. Shut up! You're out. You are gone. You are done. You are finished. Anyway, that's how my week went.
All right. Well,
Sam, why do you look exasperated? I'm very passionate about Love Island. It's great television, Love bro. Island. It's
drama.
Peak
it is.
TV. It's peak TV. It's not just drama. It's like, listen, everything we've done as humankind, creating the television, discovering electricity, technology. Everything.
I had another category that I'll keep to myself. We could get cancelled so quickly. Anyway.
Even Shakespeare perfecting his craft, creating the genre of drama and all that stuff. All of it culminated into Love Island. And I thank everybody for working.
So where do we go from here? Honestly,
amazing...
after Love Island, where do we go? Like
nowhere. Honestly,
I
don't think human beings can progress. Actually, talking about hope for humanity, another thing I've been thinking about a lot is nostalgia. And this also goes into the music industry. And we've talked about this before, but it's really worrying, bro. I feel like there's this whole sentiment that the past was so lit and was so good that there's nothing that can top that. Because I keep seeing edits on TikTok of like music from 2004 or 2000s, and then they'll show clips of like, they'll show clips of like pop culture moments in that era, and I'm like, bro, it feels like, wow, I wish I could go back. But like, do you think? How do you feel about that? Like, it feels a bit like pessimistic. kind of to have that feeling like there's nothing to look forward to anymore. I don't know. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I do. I think it's just a result of how time moves, I think, because like us, we grew, by us, I mean like me and you, like millennials, we grew up at a specific time. And so that is going to be the most important thing to us, because growing up, I mean, there's a whole psychology with it where growing up, everything is tied to each other in terms of the things that are happening around you are tied to your emotions. And so they're almost always going to trigger some sort of emotion in terms of how you felt it. But the thing about that is the kids who are growing up today, 30 years from now, 15 years from now, are going to be feeling the way we feel about that time, about this time, because it means much to them. I mean, it means a lot to them in that way. It's a cycle that keeps happening. It's not going to stop.
But
The
wait,
medieval period,
but not
all of it,
necessarily though.
the Stone Age.
But not necessarily. So I want to just give like some pushback, because like the kids who didn't even grow up in like that era between 2000 and 2004, they like even the kids who are 20, 21 now, who are born in 2004, some of them, their whole aesthetic is from the 2000s, a time that they didn't even exist in.
Yeah, but that's a trend. They are functioning off trend. There's not necessarily an attachment to that era. It's just a trend. It looks cool. And it looks like what people are really gravitating to. For someone who was actually growing up during that period, it's more than a trend to them. It's more of it's life. It's
a lifestyle.
Yeah, it's their lifestyle. It's their emotions. It has more of a meaning to it. But kids are just following trends.
Yeah,
that's all it is. Which that's an interesting question, because the question I would like to ask, I was thinking about it over the weekend, is, do you think, as an artist and as someone who is in art, fashion, I'm talking dance, I'm talking music, film, do you think better is the term I'm going to use? Do you think it's better now to experience art with the age of technology and social media and having access to artists and all of these things? Or do you think it would have been better back then, when you really didn't have access to the art as much? You only had access to the mediums that show it to you.
I think access to technology has ruined everything. It has ruined everything. So my answer is, I think in the onset of technology, like when technology was really becoming like, and when I say technology, I also mean like the internet. When the internet really started like becoming a part of our lives, that period was perfect, because there was a nice balance between and I'm talking about this period between, like, let's say the year 2000 and the year 2008. Right? Where it was just like the internet is still bubbling up. So we're still coming from, oh, this is how we listen to music on, like, we watch music videos on MTV, or we go out and listen to music, or you go to a shop and you buy CDs and vinyls. And also you're also like consuming content via the internet, but not as much as you are now. It's not easily accessible, because not everyone has access to fast internet. I think that period was phenomenal. And that was the peak. Right now, it's horrible. The access we have to music is so instantaneous.
And to artists.
Like,
and to
you get
celebrities.
And to artists. Exactly. And there's so much of it. You get option paralysis. You don't know what to listen to because there's just so much. It's everywhere. Like, you don't know what to decide to listen to. At this point, at some point you need people to tell you what to listen to, because because if they don't, then you'll just be lost in this cesspool of art, and it's not gonna get better. It's only going to get worse. So I think we just need to actively try as hard as we can to revert to consuming media in more physical modes.
Ways. So you think outside
like back
then
of the internet and
Frank Sinatra and Frank Sinatra and Charlie Chaplin and the black and white age. Like, do you think do you think that they enjoyed art more than we would here because we just have so much access into how the art is created, and it just kind of takes away some of that some of the novelty in art. But then isn't art also on the other side of that thought? Isn't art just supposed to be a reflection of human beings? Just human beings reflecting their thoughts and ideas back to themselves.
It is. Art is definitely a reflection of the times. But I think even if you compare analog and digital modes of listening to music, Sam, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows when you listen to music on a vinyl, it sounds so much better.
That's propaganda.
It's not. It's not.
That's big.
It's not.
That's big. Big vinyl.
Oh
that's
my
big
god.
Analog.
Oh my god. It's so. Do you know why? You see, the digital stuff is zeros and ones, right?
Mm.
The reason analog music is analog is because like it's made manually. It's through the etching of like those grooves and the way it's read by those magnet whatever's like on the vinyls and stuff like that. And so there's way more like information. How do I describe this? There's way more information in that music than digital music because digital music is kind of limited by the zeros and ones and stuff like that. And so you get way more detail with analog modes of listening to music. The reason I'm saying this is I think even the way music was created back in the day, it was just more wholesome. They didn't have access to
enough splice.
You see, us, we have DAWs. Yeah, we have DAWs. We have, 300 tracks to do whatever. You could put one hi-hat. They had 4 tracks. They had 2 tracks. They had 4 tracks. They had 8 tracks. Making the music was like so special. It was so special. Like people didn't have the luxury to just like sit around and just like mess around when they were making music, they were making music because they had finite resources and they had to just work with what they had. And so when they made music, they really put their heart and soul into that stuff, man. Because you only have 4 tracks. You only have this amount of time to make it. You know what I mean? So I think things were actually genuinely slightly better back in the day. Right now, it's just kind of like anyone is doing music. Like anybody and your mom can make music nowadays.
There's a grandma I follow on. There's a grandma I follow on TikTok who's DJing. She's a DJ and she posts like I think she's a promoter. Well, not really a DJ, but then. Yeah, everyone and the grandma literally can make music. Shout out to grandmas, man. Shout out to grandmas. See, I'm not the only one who does the random shout outs. So no, grandmas deserve shout outs. Grandmas deserve shout outs, man.
No, they do, but like I'm not the only one who does it.
Anyway, music is fun. I guess it's whatever age you're in, you'll listen to music, and the people who are in the future who have the music implanted in streamed directly to their brains will think that we have it good with Spotify, just like we think that the other people had it good with just theaters and operas, whatever.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, actually, you're right, because people in the future would probably think we had it better. We just
that's what I was talking about when you were asking that question. In terms of it's just generational. It's what means the most to us. It's just it goes by generations. I don't know if there's a golden age per se. That would be weird.
Speaking of generations, there's been a generational divide on the internet. So Gengetone artist Parroty has been going at Toxic Lyrikali for the past week. Also, I don't even know why he's doing this like so consistently. I don't know what it is about Toxic Lyrikali that has just like rubbed bro the wrong way. But as you guys know, Toxic Lyrikali right now is on a run. You know, like he's actually, I think it's safe to say he's the artist in Kenya with the most hype around him. I think that's just like a sensible thing to say, aside from BN, of course. But like in terms of just like the upcoming like new whatever, like Toxic Lyrikali is the guy. And Parroty last week, and this frustrates me so much. I feel like things always happen after we do the podcast. After we do the podcast, news always happens, and then now we have to wait a week to talk about it. It infuriates me. But anyway, so after we did last week's podcast, there was a whole thing about Toxic Lyrikali saying that your artists need to chill about asking for collabs. Like he's basically was just saying like, yo, if it happens, it happens. But like, you know, that just can't be the whole conversation that we're having day in, day out, asking me for collabs. And then Parroty comes and says, bro, you're being prideful, like you think you'll be hot forever, but trust me, this shit comes and goes.
You just
got
here.
Yeah, you just got here, like honestly, and Parroty has the experience. Parroty has been around for like 4 or 5 years, you know what I mean? So Toxic Lyrikali goes back on the internet and says he's not being prideful. He's actually just, you know, he'd never express himself that way anyway. But Parroty is kind of like insistent that, yo, Toxic Lyrikali is in the wrong here and he just needs to humble himself a little bit more. So I wanted to ask you, Sam, do you think Toxic Lyrikali needs to humble himself a little bit more, or is he right in what he was saying initially?
This is a conversation I think about perception. Perception in music. Perception in music is everything. Perception in music is everything, because once, speaking from like just music itself, once you get a hit and all eyes on you, you're perceived as the important one. You're perceived as what's important in that moment. The spotlight is on you, and the industry's eyes and everything on you. So you're important. That creates a weird it creates a weird thing where now all of a sudden you might be viewed higher and better and what do you call more successful than you are, just because of that whole thing of the spotlight is on you. And so the different ideas and I don't even know the right term to it, but it just makes everything weird, because now people because there's people who have they've just been chilling, then they get a hit and all of a sudden they're completely inaccessible. All of a sudden now it's talk to my manager. All of a sudden it's now I'm not doing any features, and I'm not saying this is toxic. Okay, I'm just giving an example. I'm not doing any features. I just really and people try and make it different too. Is I'm just trying to focus on me right now. I'm on a run and I just want to, and you know he's trying to sun you.
Sam, Sam, the worst I've ever been told is I don't have the mental bandwidth.
Oh man, see that one is disrespectful though. That one is just as, what do you mean you don't have the mental? What do you mean? Go get it. Where did they go get that mental? So the perception is everything. So once you're hot now, and the people with the best perceptions are the people with the power. So now him as an artist, it can go, you know what? No, I'm not going to do features. And you can't say anything about it. You really can't say anything about it. It looks salty when you now come back, like Parroty goes back and starts saying, oh, fam, or you think, you know, like, oh, you just got here. That whole discourse, it comes off as salty. But then on either side, I think they both probably have some sort of skin in the game, some sort of truth to what they're saying. Because Toxic could be like, listen, man, and in his mind, he might be trying to play it off humble. We don't know, right? He might be trying to play it off humble, but in his mind, it's like, I probably have a goal, and my goal is to do this. Maybe he wants to do features and just genuinely can't do the features right now, or whatever it is. But that's always going to be looked at. The moment you get that perception and all the eyes are on you, just by nature of how things function, that's going to be looked at as, yeah, you're just trying to sun me. Like, you don't have the mental capacity now. You're just all right, cool, you know. Is there a right and a wrong in this situation? What do you think? Do you think there's a right and a wrong in this situation? I don't know if there is. It's just the nature of how things are.
even before we get there, do you think Parroty is clout chasing a little bit? Because that's what people have been saying.
Yo,
on the
first,
comments.
can we retire
it's
that
just
term?
like, why is Parroty so?
Can we retire clout chasing? Because
Why?
now, whenever anyone does anything in the public eye and on social media that may not rub well with you, all of a sudden it's clout chasing. Clout chasing is a specific term for a specific thing. It's going on the internet with the intention of getting attention, of seeking attention. I don't think Parroty would be in the place where he'll be clout chasing. I've never seen it from him, so I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But clout chasing is, we need to stop using clout chasing for everything, man. Just because you don't agree with someone on the internet doesn't mean they're clout chasing.
My favorite new term on the internet is adding the word maxing or adding the word mogging to things.
Which is farming over with, because it used to be farming before.
Internet.
It's farming over with.
Oh, farming is old. Farming is old.
Man, that was like
man.
last
Adding
year.
mogging and
already.
maxing to things.
I can't keep up, man. Unc is saying I can't keep up.
So some people would say Toxic Lyrikali is Cloutmaxxing.
Cloutmaxxing. That actually has a ring to it. Cloutmaxxing is a fire word. Cloutmaxxing. Is it two X's or is it just one? It's just the one X.
Yeah. 2x.
That makes it look so much harder. I knew it. Yeah. Cloutmaxxing is fire.
So who's in the wrong and who's on the right? So I kind of side with Toxic Lyrikali here. Because you have to think about it, Sam. He's in a position where, like, just think about how many people are asking for favors.
Yeah.
At this
Spotlight
moment in
is on
time.
him. Everyone wants to be attached to him. Yeah.
It's going to be so hectic in his camp. Everybody and their mom wants a Toxic Lyrikali
I'm sure there's moms
verse,
in there
a
as well,
Toxic Lyrikali
for a fact.
feature. They exactly. They want a Toxic Lyrikali video. They want a Toxic Lyrikali endorsement. They want a Toxic Lyrikali this and that and the third. And I'm sure like it's stressful, and whatever he does, he's not gonna be able to like satisfy everybody. Everybody's gonna like feel a type of way no matter what he decides to do.
Yeah.
And so, in my opinion, I think he needs to be really picky, but also really smart about how he moves. I don't think he needs to be rude. I don't want him to start being like snobby or not. You know, there's this trend on TikTok about how like you're gonna switch up on your day ones when you make money, and everyone is like, yeah, we're just gonna switch up. But no, I wouldn't want him to switch up on like his people, or just switch up on what made him who he is today. But I do understand not being able to collaborate with everybody. You know, some artists, it's like, you know, you like Sam, you might have been in a, let's say, let's say you're in the come up, right? And there might be some artists who you knew in your hood and they were making music, but then everything just started working out, right? And those artists kind of stayed at the same level, right? They didn't really
they didn't blow. They didn't leave the hood.
Their careers.
They didn't make it
They
out
didn't
the
even really... and then, or they just didn't work on their craft as much, right? And so they kind of stagnated. And then now, just because you all knew each other, like this person is asking you to do a feature on a song, but bro, you're a different person at this point in time, and you kind of stayed the same. Like, it might not make the most sense for me right now, and I know that sounds very mean.
I mean, that does make sense.
Mean, but at the end of the day, you can't.
That does make sense.
You can't just work with. It doesn't make sense.
I'm saying it makes sense. It makes sense. You've moved on.
Yeah, you can't just work with you can't just work with everybody just because like you're, you know, it doesn't
It feels very handouty.
I'm not.
It feels like
it
I'm
doesn't
giving you
mean
a handout. It feels like you just want to attach yourself to me now because I am who I am and the eyes are on me, and not necessarily. because we came from the same spot. But I also do understand that people who just like they switch up. Like the switch up is real. The switch up happens more often, I think, than the other thing.
Until you understand. Wait, what do you mean you understand?
No, I understand that the switch up happens. I understand that that people do a lot of just once I am him, I'm him, and I'm going to say what's up to you like when I see you, but you still have to buy tickets to the show. That happens a lot. People just never talk about it.
Yeah.
But again, this whole thing is about for me. It's about perception, because then now as an artist, like just speaking about the industry, I feel like as an artist, the moment you get like a look like Toxic Lyrikali has, did I say that right? Lyrikali. The moment you get that look, you then have to manage your perception in the industry. You have to start. You can't just be going to everyone and anyone and be operating and moving in the same way. Like you've gone up a level, and with going up a level, that brings a little bit more responsibilities and just different things you have to do to advance. Like for you to advance from the bottom up to where he probably is just make a good song. Make a song everyone can vibe to. But then now, after that, you have to make a good song, and then you have to be seen in specific places. And that's just how the industry is. There's just levels that you have to progress with. And if you want to succeed, you have to really do a lot of managing of that.
And it's such a balancing act. Like you said, there's a lot of management that needs to take place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think Toxic Lyrikali is still like connected to where he's from. Like, I always, when I'm out on YouTube, just like looking for new talent and stuff, or just like new songs, I sometimes I just be bumping into Toxic Lyrikali's comments, and he's usually just like, "Yo, this shit is tough." You know what I mean? Like he's supportive of the upcoming acts. I've seen it in my eye. Like this one artist I've been listening to called Shaman. He's part of a group called Republic M's. They're so small. Like they're not popping, or like they're not like mainstream. But yet Toxic Lyrikali is in the comments saying that this shit is hard. Even in the song with Shy Boy Ghetto Tycoon, right? He's in the comments. Stop laughing. He's in the comments saying that song is hard. So it's not to say like that Toxic Lyrikali is completely switching up on people. He's still there, like supporting people in the best way that he can. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, bro, I don't fault him. So for me personally, now, if this is me, if I'm Toxic Lyrikali, what I would do is, like you said, there's expectations on him to now start moving like an artist who is established. So yeah, Boutros wants to do a collab. Brooklyn Boys wants to do a collab. Do the collabs with them. I still would do collabs with people who are less known, or people who are still kind of like not mainstream names.
Yeah.
I would still do that, but they would have to be really good for sure. But like, I would still do those. I wouldn't completely just now start working with mainstream acts. And then yeah, like I would do that, but not. I wouldn't like oversaturate myself. Essentially, you know what I mean? You
do, and unfortunately, just the way Kenya's industry is a very hate-driven industry, because we don't do a lot of album. We haven't placed. I do feel like it's changing, but then we haven't placed a lot of focus on the album and the art of an album and how the album sustains an artist's career, not necessarily in terms of monetary, but then sustains an artist's career in terms of just what it does. So it's a very, and this is my opinion, I could be wrong, it's a very hit-driven industry. And for you to stay relevant, you do need to be in front of people's faces with hits for the most part. That might be changing a bit though, but it's cool. So like for him, I do think that if you had one, we've had so many situations of where artists have caught one and then they have almost coasted off the one that they've caught and that song and it's hype. And then you come back after 7-8 months dropping a song and no one is rocking to it and it's
no one cares.
It's brutal. it's absolutely brutal. So it kind of needs, I get it. He kind of does need to focus and like now he's at the point where he probably could, him and his team could probably like try and engineer something, make it look like, go hit up specific people. Our industry is still small, so that can happen easier than it probably could in like the West.
But he needs hits.
Yeah,
I think Toxic Lyrikali right now is.
you need a couple more.
He's in a very, very critical point in his career, and Sam and I were talking about this. Like, you look at Wadagli's, right? I mean, when Angukanayo came out, there's just this feeling you get like, oh, these guys are bigger than life, like, or larger than life, like.
In the moment, it
that
feels
aura
grand.
feels like it's yeah. In the moment, it feels like it'll never end, but it does, and it happens so quickly. And so for Toxic Lyrikali right now, like, if I'm him, you forget about Chinje, you forget about Backbencher, bro. I need the next thing. You know what I mean? What's the next thing? I need to get another one. So, and it's such a balancing act because you also don't want to, like I said earlier, you don't want to oversaturate yourself.
Yeah.
But you do need those hits to keep rolling. Because like Sam said, our industry, unfortunately, is a very hit-driven industry as opposed to like a project-driven industry. People won't be like, oh, he created this amazing body of work.
Yeah.
Or even like, just the mainstream isn't gonna recognize that as much.
Or even just the like artist development and all that. Like we don't have labels to like focus on that and having different layers to an artist rather than just the songs. We unfortunately are just focusing on the songs, and so then by virtue of that, we are going to focus on what you're doing. What have you done for me lately? What do I like the most about you currently? And that's hits.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not going to be the places you appear. It's not going to be so much your brand, the brands you affiliate with, because we're also trying to figure that out. So that's something I think we could use is a lot more teams figuring out how to go about just engineering a perception for artists. That sounds terrible, honestly, especially for a purist like me. But then it's the nature of the industry.
But you have to do it. You have to do that.
You have to do it.
So if we even have like case studies, like you look at Rema, he had Do Maybe pop off, right?
Yeah.
And that was a great song, but a lot of people could argue that was also a very, very critical period in his life, because if he didn't deliver anything after that, then bro was gonna struggle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we was going to go cold for him.
But that's not what. But that's not what happened.
They locked in and went on one of the runs that we have seen in African music of the recent past. He has gone on what a run, right? And it's all about that. It's all about even Ira Star, like just the decisions that you start making once you have a hit. Definitely helps. But I do think that once you have a hit, you do need to create a couple of more. You can't just immediately jump into the perception game because you don't have enough to drag with you. And the one that you have would probably wear out fast. And then now you're scrambling between, and then now you're caught up between managing perceptions and trying to create a hit as well. So like you said, he definitely needs to lock in. Whoever he locks in with, the music just has to be amazing. And then you become a staple. And then now you have enough to start just trying to make yourself look a lot bigger than you are.
It has to be. And so like back to the Rema example, like I said, he releases that EP that had Do Maybe, which is just the self-titled. And then he had a bunch of like remixes to the Do Maybe song and stuff. And I feel like that period, 2020, he was really coasting a little bit. He didn't really know exactly what to do. But then bro locked in. They created Soundgasm I think that came out 2021. That shit was another hit altogether. And from there, bro, just like, bro, 2022, calm down. And from there, like, now that's like, bro, we're now cooking. Like, whatever we do now, it's gonna be crazy.
See, for me, I look at, and you're looking at it from Do Maybe. Do Maybe is cool, but Do Maybe was like a pre-hit. I look at Rema's, what I'm talking about, I look at it from Calm Down and what happened from Calm Down. The moment he got that and just how they started really just trying to make him look like the biggest artist in the world. But you could also do it from Do Maybe. The thing about it is after Do Maybe, he kind of still was trying to figure figure things out because he was still
Things
very
out.
young.
Yeah,
in terms of
yeah.
music.
Bro was a bit lost. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, but they did it, man. Locking in with London, making Soundgasm. I believe Woman also came out in that time.
Yeah.
But you know those songs they just kind of felt like intermissions. They didn't really feel like the thing. But he figured out how to like make these songs that really stuck. And then Calm Down came out, Fire, and then Charmed.
From Calm Down he just took off.
And
he took off.
And then from there, like the perception is crazy because now you release Charm, everybody knows you're just like everything you do is just beautiful. It's just a hit. Everyone is asking for you to be on remixes. He goes on the Soweto remix in 2023.
Blows
He
it out of the
completely
water.
elevated that
Oh
song.
my goodness.
And we're like, bro, that song is already a hit. How can it get any better? Wait, Rema made it better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so now, post 2023, Rema is at a point where he can do whatever he wants. And now we are seeing him do things like the Ravage EP, things like He Is. Like now he's just like branching out. So just looking at Rema as a case study,
Yeah.
right? You'd consistently need that one song that's a hit in the beginning. Like every year you need to get that song that really drives the narrative, and then put together those small projects. Like after like 3 years, you need to be relevant. You need to be relevant because of the hits.
It's a relevance game.
And then
That's what it is.
Yeah, and so like you see, if Toxic Lyrikali has a 2026 that's quiet,
Yeah.
you know, then that's that. You know what I mean? But right now he's on a good trajectory. I mean, we've seen Conscience wants to hop on the remix for Backbencher. That's big.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Conscience
That's
is starting.
big,
He's starting.
man. Gala Bubble Conscience, man.
No.
Gala Bubble Conscience,
I
Sam.
can't stand that song. Oh my goodness.
Bro,
Oh, man.
I remember being in high school watching that video.
Oh
and just,
no,
like,
I can't stand.
my eyes
that music was
opening
so
to all
ratchet.
the possibilities of
Goodness.
life.
That was ratchet music, ratchet peak. That was ratchet peak right there. That was
it
crazy.
was.
But Conscience, I mean, Conscience
Great
seems to be doing
time.
that a lot now. Whenever
What a
Kenya's
great
song
time
pops,
in
he
the
jumps on
music
it. He did that with Angela. Now he's trying
He
to
did that
jump
with
on.
Angela as well.
Yeah. Anyway, hey,
Yeah.
we'll take it.
So
They'll take it. Maybe there's a different
no, we'll
ways we
take
could
it.
go,
We'll
though.
take it. So another artist who's struggling is Diana Cords. Because last year was her year together with Wadagli's.
Yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't say she's struggling.
It's not as
But
hot as she is. When
she's
she
not,
was when
she's-
she had that song.
She's, yeah.
Yeah.
The temperature has definitely cooled off on that, and you know the things we're saying are not easy to do though. You know, like right now we're on the podcast saying as though making a hit is an easy thing to do. It's not.
Oh
but
yeah,
but we're just kind of telling
armchair
you.
quarterbacks. Wait, what's the? Because no one knows
Yeah.
what that is. Armchair
Yeah, that's
strikers.
correct. That's correct.
assisters. What is it?
Yeah,
What's-
or backseat drivers.
Yeah, backseat drivers.
Oh, we're being backbench drivers, man.
Daniel podcast.
Daniel. Yeah, so I don't know. Like you said, I guess Parroty has a point in that sense about how cold an artist can get. Especially, bro, Kenyan music fans are so fickle. Oh my god, people will move on from you in a heartbeat.
Yep.
Unless you've attained a certain level. And this was something we were talking about with Sam earlier. You see, somebody like Bien, I think, will always get like acclaim even if he goes quiet for a while. People like Nikita Kering, I think even Nikita Kering, you know, she's quiet, but like, I think, me personally, I think if she releases music, she'll still get a lot of like motion. But not everybody has those exceptions. I feel like those exceptions are only like such few artists who
Does that have to
them.
do with genre,
my
or is
opinion.
what does that have to do with?
It has to do with them not having as much competition as the rest of the field.
Okay.
Like there's nobody who I don't, in my opinion, I don't think there's anybody who can replace what Bien is doing currently. You know what I mean? At the level that he's doing it. And so if Bien leaves, as much as there will be a vacuum, there's not really anybody to fill that space. You know what I mean? So whenever he decides to come back, that
everyone,
we are
the people who are waiting for him, the
back.
people who where his fans are. Whereas in other industries, the moment you leave, someone steps in there and they take a chunk of the people who are following
immediately.
You, completely switch up. That makes sense.
Immediately.
That makes sense.
Immediately. And so what Sam and I are saying is like, so Kenya does have a lot of artists, but we're talking about like that cream at the top.
Yeah.
Where like there's not as much competition for these spots. Down in the like the lower levels, there's hella competition. Like if, for example, if Watendawili start to slack, they can be replaced very easily. If Keithan and Kinoti start to slack, those guys can be replaced very easily. And I know that sounds like brutal to say, but it's true. Like people want those spots and they're willing to work their way to get them. So for people who are like still in that like come up region, they still need to work
there's more people around.
Relevant.
There's more people around. But then once you elevate and you go higher, now you gain like God status, and it's just like
I guess.
Oh, that was the wrong term. Small G.
No.
Small G.
Yeah. Small G.
I should have said that. But no, it definitely makes sense. That's actually pretty interesting. We don't have at the top. Maybe that's why we're also struggling with some of the older acts, because there's just still there has been no one to replace them in terms of doing what they've done. So we're still kind of stuck. And they've oh my god. So this brings me to this happened a while ago. Yo, you guys need to leave Nonini alone, bro. I don't know if you saw. You guys need to leave Nonini alone. Bro was just like, it's like Will Smith recently. I don't know if you saw the Will Smith freestyle. Like, they're just trying their best, man.
Those freestyle. What was Will Smith saying? What did he was saying the corniest things I've ever seen in my life.
I pulled the pin out of the grenade and what did you say? I pulled the pin out of the grenade before I threw it. I bit off more than I could chew. Then I chewed it. Okay. Wow, brilliant. You sound so old.
In bro's head.
Even Nonini, he did sound, he was like, we're not taking any Nonini hits, but then he did sound like it sounded, that flow was a little bit aged. Listen, Nonini, if you need some beats, bro, like Afam is really ready to lock in with you. A quick 10-pack.
Well, I don't have the bandwidth. The mental bandwidth.
No, man. See, there's not a lot of people who can do what he's done, and then there's Kiroro, all of them. Like that move has not been replaced, or there's not many people who can do that. So then you have artists who are just they don't have the incentive to evolve.
That's problematic.
Yeah.
We need to be developing artists to be, initially. I actually what I want to say is we need to build artists so that they're so good that they can, or they have the potential to surpass the artists who came before them. We need an industry that's actively doing that, because I think that's going to be very, very healthy. We don't want to get to a point where we build an artist to the top and then they stay there for 30 years.
Yeah.
We do not want that, because that's going to limit the industry. That's why I'm really insistent. I really want Kenya to have an artist who's 20, between the ages of 20 to 24. Like, let's say they pop out now, out of the woodwork. And by the year 2029, they're BN level, almost even surpassing BN. And even BN is like, this kid is like, like Rema. Like how Rema right now, I think you would arguably say Rema is way bigger than Wizkid and Davido.
Oh yeah, now definitely
I feel like it's more relevant.
Sure. Yeah.
Now you could say that, you know what I mean? I think Burna Boy is still like really, really doing those things, but like Wizkid and Davido have kind of like, you know what I mean? But you see, that industry have allowed for, or they allow for a new blood to get to those levels.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
And what
we need.
And what would be even better is if you have 2, 3, 4 of those going at the same time, really trying to. That just elevates the music even more.
Perfect. Perfect. And like Nigeria, that's what they have with Ira Star and Thames and Rema, like as like the new blood. And then there's people coming up with Kinashei vibes and all those guys. Shani
Hungry,
Poppy.
bro, ready to take those spots. We don't be having no
Hungry
hunger
for
here, man.
granola.
Guys are full.
Hungry for. Did you see?
All right.
Did you see?
Yeah.
Shani
See,
Poppy?
that's Cloutmaxxing. That was
I think Cloutmaxxing.
no, that was accent maxing is what he was doing. That was accent maxing. Like,
accent maxing. He
Shani Poppy,
accent
you grew
mocked
up
us,
in
man.
Benin, like you don't granola, you know, yeah, type. I was like, what are you talking about, big dog?
Bro,
Oh,
the
man.
memes, no, the memes on TikTok were hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, that has been our conversation about Toxic Lyrikali and them. So let's see how his career plays out.
Yeah, just real quick, some more progress. Last week we were talking about charts. This week we talk about charts a little bit, but then Shazam. So a whole bunch of African artists recently have been shining on the Shazam chart, which is cool. Which means more people. Shazam. I don't look at Shazam like other charts, because Shazam is not necessarily a music listening platform. It's more of like a music discovery platform. So it tells us something different. But yeah, recently more African artists have been shining on the Shazam global charts. And I think recently 12 songs, African songs, reached the top 10. Omale Davido on the Faceless Serotonin, Venus, which is really good. Where's Serotonin goes? Serotonin is doing that thing where he dropped a really fire song and then he's just disappeared. It feels like it's Frank Ocean. Show Me Love is the MC. Shake It to the Max. I think that might have been the number one. I think it's actually, if I look at the charts, Shake It to the Max is number 3 still. And all of the other songs have sort of dropped off.
Shout out to Molly, but I will be okay in my life
If you never heard those terms, those words.
But I love
that
Molly.
sequence.
In that sequence, please.
Yeah.
Even in different sequences. I don't want to hear Max to the shake.
Yeah. Reordered
I'm okay.
anything.
But shout out to you, Molly.
Yeah.
I love your music, but yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Laho is on there, of course. That it had a really big.
They call me Charlie Poppy. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's very small news, but it's pretty cool. So the fact that people. The songs that are being discovered, it's almost like it feels like there's been a really big push for African music, and then now you're starting to see like residual effects of what has been happening, which will be this, where now more people are trying to Shazam African songs. Like it's not going to come immediately, but then they want to hear that, and their ears are perked up. So that's just really cool, man. And it's not small news. It's actually big news. Yeah.
So like I said, like you said, sorry, the residual effects are beginning to show. I think though this is a very strategic thing for the industry to start doing.
Yeah.
Or that's why they're doing it. We also reported recently on them starting the Billboard Africa. There's like we said, there's no coincidence why these things are happening now. You know, we've always been talking about how streaming is dying and Africa is the new frontier, and they're gonna really start looking at Africa if they wanna maintain the growth within the industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only reason why African songs are more findable on Shazam is because streaming is more accessible to Africans now.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. That is a good point.
You know,
yeah. That is a good point. So there's just
the
capacity and the availability
Mm-hmm.
and the ability to is just there now.
Exactly. And they are making that ability and the capacity available to Africans because they need the African continent to start really generating money for them. Now, how do I feel about that? I have my qualms. But it's one of those things where like the African industry will benefit, even if the intention is a little bit like, I don't know. It's like when you left, back in the day when you guys used to pick kids to be in your team to play football, and then now it's the last kid who looked like really scrawny and stuff, but then he ends up being like the top scorer in your team, and you're like, oh my god, like, but nobody really wanted him. Like when they were picking teams.
So next time,
you know what I mean?
next time they pick him first.
Yeah.
That was so corny too. No, leave me off.
So that's
leave
how
me off. Don't pick me. No,
how,
I don't want to be on your team. Anyone who picks me first, I don't want to be on your team. Leave me off. Not playing.
So that's how I feel. I feel like y'all are now like picking us last because you thought that y'all's stuff was way better, but now you're realizing, hold on, Africa is actually where it's at. So there's that pride and that stubbornness.
But also you're like, oh man, it feels very Laskiddish.
But also I feel like, okay, this is going to benefit the African continent anyway. So like, I need to put that pride aside.
Do you think the rumors that the music industry is largely moving away from the African sound are true? I've seen that a lot of places. I wish I could give you sources, but then I've seen that a whole bunch of people talking about that the industry is starting to move into something else. Or rather, they're gearing up or they've started to put it in place. I probably need to have done my research. This is just a rumor, and I guess I'm just trying to figure out.
Okay,
I feel like it could be true.
So what I would say is happening from my observation is we went through a period where artists were actively trying to replicate and use Afrobeats or African themes in their songs.
Yeah.
To kind of mix that in, like Drake or Beyonce, like they were really trying to use all those themes to kind of like, elevate their music and make them seem like they're tapped into the African, blah, 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 all that stuff. And that has really stopped. But I think right now we're in the era where, yes, the mainstream industry isn't trying to make like the Western artists hop on this sound as much. What they're doing though is trying to build up African artists to be more authentic. Because I think, I think the general fan base is over hearing all these artists try and sound African. I think
Chris
right
Brown,
now more people are like, no. Yeah, exactly. Right now we just want to see Ira Star do this because she's authentic at it. So I think the industry is shifting to upholding these artists or raising these artists up as opposed to that. But I think the African sound is still, it's here
to stay.
I think it's still prominent.
For a little bit longer.
I think so. The era that I miss kind of, I do miss the EDM era when all artists were hopping on EDM beats. Like Kina Kesha, Kina Nicki Minaj. Yeah. I kind of miss that time.
Pitbull and them.
What is his name? Florida. Like, bro, it was a bit of a happy time. It was, what were their names? Party rockers in the house.
What are their names? Those guys just absolutely dissolved into obscurity.
Obscurity, man. But them, like, bro, I miss that period. It was such a happy period. I feel like all the songs were so happy and like
it was fun.
Party centered.
Things feel very. Oh, by LMFAO. Yeah. They're called LMFAO. Oh my goodness! Do you remember those guys? Oh man, yeah. We do miss that, but don't worry. Give it a couple of years. It's going to come right back. It's going to circle right back. Don't worry. Just
it always does.
It is.
Hi man, do you want to talk about new music?
Let's do it.
Let me start. Because I feel like you have low-key listened to more music than me. So, the long-awaited EP from Butchos finally came out. Vite.
Was it long-awaited?
Okay, not long-awaited, but it was highly anticipated.
Short-awaited.
Yeah. So he finally dropped that. He also dropped a video to the song with Lil Maina. And bro, I was digging the video, man. The video was really, really good. So shout out to them. They really put together a solid video. The project was interesting. I think like the song with Saru was nice. I liked seeing K Green in the intro because K Green has always been one of the biggest names in the shrap game, and it's good to see Butchos still working with
tapping
his
into that pool,
day ones. just working with his day one. So it was really nice. I did feel a little bit of a disconnect in terms of how the project kind of went from that sound and then rage
to the
at the end.
especially the last two joints, they were very rage.
Yeah, the last two joints just kind of felt like tacked onto the project. I don't know if they really like. To me, it didn't feel like they really fit in that project.
Yeah.
That being said, I do like Left Right. I do like the song with Lil Minor. The song with Saru was also dope.
It was okay.
So
I liked Kionjo.
He's put for.
Sorry for interrupting.
That's what I'm saying. Kionjo, yes.
I like what Lil Minor is doing. Lil Minor I don't know, is it just me, but then he's bringing back in terms of his hooks, he's just bringing back like a nostalgic feeling with how he writes his hooks and his singing and everything and his harmonies and melodies. Like it reminds me of the 2000s, 2010s, especially maybe probably more the 2010s Kenyan music. So I don't know whether he's doing that on purpose or but it just sounds good to me.
Definitely. Yeah. It's definitely intentional. Lil Minor is one of the biggest names in terms of the urban tone scene, in terms of relying on nostalgia to kind of create this new feeling that they're trying to create. So shout out to Lil Minor. They're doing a good job over there. So yeah, man. Okay, so yeah, I listened to Vaite. I also listened to Kreki by X-Ray, Lil Minor again, and Dovuku. They released a video to that, so shout out to them. I also listened to Ask Those by Ndovuku again. Furthermore, Fena, Harry Craze, and I Foolish. Mapenzi Kama Visu by Mrumbi and Sheke. That was also really dope. I believe. Oh yeah, I also listened to. What else did I listen to? Oh yeah, Abade by Papa and Andrew Ace.
Yeah.
Shout out to Papa as always. How about you, Sam?
Yeah. A couple of projects. Brida dropped Ndogulu and a quick 23-minute listen. Well, 7 songs, 23 minutes seems like really long these days. With 7 songs, people will tend to be under 20. But yeah, that was cool. He dropped the single with Bien a while back. Cloutmaxxing is on there. Watenda Willie, Diana Chords. And yeah, that was interesting. It's kind of what you would expect. Fadhili Itulia and Iborian released Kila Siku. That was an interesting one. Loki the Great and for Mr. Frank White, who we obviously love on this podcast, released Airplane Mode. So that was really cool as well. I want to shout out Ndunda. Ndunda is an EDM electronic producer. EDM. We need a term. We need a term for EDM producers that originate from Africa. I mean, fine, we can call them EDM producers, but I just feel like there needs to be a new term for that. But yeah,
here's an idea. We can just call them producers.
You're onto something. You're onto something. That's a great idea. Maxing. He released Fall Down. He released.
Stop! Please stop.
I'm just gonna start throwing maxing at the end of everything now, especially. It's
you just keep on max. You're max mogging me right now.
I'm maxing.
Yeah, you're maxing right now.
This is such a nerdy podcast. Oh my goodness. We apologize, but also thank you for listening. We appreciate you.
Sorry for nerd maxing, you guys. Sorry for nerd maxing.
Dunda, listen, release Fall Down. He's released a couple of like just joints that I've absolutely loved. So it's good to see him keep releasing. Mao from Nowhere and Hihi. Is it Hihi or Hi? I do not know how to pronounce that. Release Pressure with a bunch of artists on there. Go check that out. Yeah, that was just a couple of other people released. Somebody Be the Artist. August 4, Mudoka and Sunset, who kind of have like a similar sound released. So if that's your thing, go check that out. That might have been all I checked. I checked out this week. I do need to go in and pay more attention to other people's. But yeah, that was that. What are we playing? What's our pick of the week?
Yes, sir. The pick of the week would have to go to Blinky Bill and Lisa Oduor-Noah with the song Bella. So funny thing happened where, before the podcast, I was like, I listened to this song and I was just passive listening to it, and I didn't know how I felt about it. So I was just telling Sam, I don't know if it's the song that I want to play at the end of the podcast. But then I was like, you know what? Let me listen to this thing again. And the hook, and Sam categorically said, listen to that intro and tell me that's not a good intro. So I sat down and I listened to it, and I was like, you know what?
Absolutely
this is
incredible.
Actually
oh my
great.
Goodness. Absolutely.
Yeah, this
so
is actually
buttery.
great. So yeah, man. No, this is actually a really good song. And it's very, very catchy because I just kept on singing the hook in my head and out loud, to be honest.
Yeah.
So shout out to Blinky Bill and Lisa Oduor. They really put together a good song. And we are going to play the song Bella for the end of the podcast.
Mbona unimisi siku hizi, penzi lako lanitia hofu. Mbona unimisi siku hizi, penzi lako lanitia hofu. Mbona waniona nilivyo, Bella, Bella. Mbona unimisi siku hizi, Bella, Bella. Mbona unimisi siku hizi, penzi lako lanitia hofu. Mbona unimisi siku hizi, penzi lako lanitia hofu. Mbona waniona nilivyo.
Feel it every day, sema kupitia, sikutarajia, mambo kuchemka, see it day by day, kuna gap, ka huioni na iona, kumebadilika, vile naumia, hata ungejua hauwezi furahia, ama mkosea na huwezi niambia, ama umepata mwingine na sijajua. Tafakari tulipotoka, my baby, oh. Na nini unachotaka, my baby, oh. Bella, oh. Maneno mingi sipendelei, wajua tu Nairobi ngori, so nina watu, cheka na watu, kumbe ni fees, ukisurvive, big up yourself, ka uko live, big up yourself, mbona kunizungusha, zungusha, mbona kunitatiza, tatiza, mbona kunizungusha, zungusha, mbona kunitatiza, tatiza. Siku hizi, Bella, mbona unimisi siku hizi, penzi lako lanitia hofu. Mbona unimisi siku hizi, penzi lako lanitia hofu. Mbona unimisi Bella.
That was Bella by Blinky Bill and Lisa Oduor-Noah. So shout out to both of them.
Yeah, that's becoming
Y'all
a really good
put
pairing
together
too.
an
Because on
amazing,
Blinky's
amazing
project, they
song.
released a really good
It
song as well.
is.
It's becoming a really good,
Yes.
good pairing. Maybe an EP in the works. Who knows?
Who knows, man? Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. As always, we created this podcast to uplift the Kenyan industry, to highlight Kenyan music, because we believe that Kenyan artists deserve to be played more and paid more. And also, I don't know what I wanted to say after that, but
Oh boy,
if
here we
you're
go.
new to this
Listen, we've been
podcast-
having really great
if you're-
conversations, and then the podcast just falls apart in the outro. Let's just because we're trying to do
no,
much. Just
no.
1, 2, 3,
okay,
and we're out
okay,
of
okay,
here.
okay.
Yeah.
No. Watch
Three
me, watch
Cs,
me, watch
three
me,
Cs,
watch me,
three
watch
Cs.
me
Let's
now.
go.
Watch me whip and nene.
Let's go.
Watch me whip and nene now. Yeah. Bro. Listen. If you're new to this podcast, you might not know, but I usually like to end the podcast on the 3 C's, which is a mantra that I devised for myself because I'm not perfect and I'm trying to work on myself as a creative. Number 1, confidence. Always be confident in your music, in your art, because that's what people are going to experience first when they interface with your music or your art. Confidence is key. Number 2, consistency. I said confidence is key, but so is consistency. If you're not consistent, you are going to be forgotten. Your art is going to be buried under the deluge of creations of today's, era where there's also AI that you're competing with. So always be consistent. And number 3, craft. Always work on your craft. If you only have 5 minutes to spare, use those 5 minutes to advance yourself in your chosen craft, because those 5 minutes add up at the end of the year. You could learn something so vital or pivotal to your career in those 5 minutes that just kind of changes everything for you. And with that, guys, like I said, thank you for listening to this podcast. Sam, would you want to say anything to your adoring listeners for to end the podcast?
There's a saying from like Proverbs, the book in the Bible, Proverbs, which kind of I read this week, which kind of slapped me in the face.
Okay.
And it's so simple. It's Proverbs 22:13, and it says, "The lazy man says there's a lion outside."
Wait, but what if there was a lie? Okay, sorry. Let me hear the.
The whole thing is the lazy man says there's a lion outside. So just paraphrasing, there's a lion outside. I will be killed. I'll be killed in the streets. And I mean, think about it. There's double meaning to that. So it's like, all right, like your fears, the fears you have are imagined first of all, and so you're just going to stay in bed and not go out because you imagine a lion outside. What if there's no lion? So for me, that just kind of slapped me. Like sometimes we're afraid of progressing and going further and starting things because of the just a fear of what's outside and what's to come. But at least in this what do you call it? It's in this sense, it's looked at as it's still laziness. So just go out and get it. Basically, what I'm trying to say is go out and get it. Do what you need to do to be who you want to be. And yeah.
And what I'm getting from that is like, even if there is indeed a lion outside, pointing out the problem doesn't help anyone.
Absolutely doesn't help.
It's better to point out the solution. You know what I mean? Like, fine, there's a lion outside. What are we going to do about it? I like it. And those pithy words from Sam. We will see you guys on episode 143.
43.